It's move-in day at UConn, and colleges all over the state are gearing up for back to school. But what about your kids who aren't quite there yet, and college is in their future? Are you financially ready to help them get there? Frank Mancini, CEO of Connex Credit Union, is here to help out. Good morning to you, Frank.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
First, we're happy you're here because I think this is a question certainly on a lot of minds this time of year. For parents with younger kids, even babies, the question is always, when do I start saving?
I think you should start saving as soon as they're babies. I opened up a 529 account for my kids when they were young, and college is getting very expensive. And if you look at the rate of increase in college tuition, it becomes hard. And if you haven't started saving early enough, it becomes that much harder. So I would encourage parents to start as soon as they can, to start putting a little bit away in a 529 plan for the children's education.
And again, for folks hearing that term 529 for the first time,
it's a college savings plan that's has some tax benefits, and so if it's used for college, the gains are tax-free.
That's great.
Yes, great.
And what if people are thinking, but I don't have a lot of extra money once everything's paid at the end of the month? Save what you can.
Save what you can.
Anything's better than nothing?
I think it's a great piece of advice.
Okay.
Always try.
We want to give more advice. In fact, we have some tips. We want to start with number one. The most important thing when planning a budget is to be realistic. What do you mean by that?
I think you need to understand what monies you have coming in, and you know it's kind of late for new kids coming in. I mean, unless you can get a part-time job, I think you want to realize the net dollars you have coming in, and maybe you can fit in some time to find an extra part-time job. But the expenses always tend to surprise you.
Well, speaking of that, maybe you want to over budget then, which is our second tip.
Yeah.
When in doubt, plan and save more, right?
Right, exactly. If you can, plan for the unexpected, because there's in life always something that's unexpected.
All right, you know what, I went in order. That was number 3. Let's do number 2. That one is also just really, really important. Get to know your expenses. This goes back to what you were saying. Kind of figure a few things out, know your spending habits as well, and try to accommodate accordingly. Great
life skill. If you can start early, it's even better. And it's on a much smaller scale, but know what money you have coming in and where it goes, because it seems to go pretty quickly. And it becomes harder and harder to save. So you want to develop that life skill as soon as you can. It will help you in the long term. And start planning out so it's not too soon, even before you have the child, think about 529 plan.
That's true.
College comes up pretty quickly.
Oh,
so
it does.
Tracking expenses is critically important.
So the time is now.
Yeah.
All right. Set aside some money in the budget for the unexpected. So not only do we have to save more and over budget, but also then on top of that, we need a bit of a rainy day fund.
You do. Always good to have a rainy day fund if you can figure, again, how to maneuver through, the complications that, may come up. So it's always good. I mean, there used to be a thought that a 3-month of expenses used to be the standard, and I think it's a little bit more these days. So you should try to always have a little bit of liquidity. And you can always establish a line of credit with a credit union, and that can help you in times where you might need it.
And if you have questions, really go talk to somebody. There are so many different people you can talk to get some financial planning advice.
Yeah, I mean, you can come to Connex Credit Union and we'll give you financial planning advice, even for students going in. We offer a lot of electronic tools, a mobile banking app, and all these things you can track with free applications that we provide. So it's readily available and we'll help you to use it. And we think they're great tools for planning, and we think that helps us gain the trust of our members. And that's why we do well with our 47,000 members.
Much appreciated. Sure, by all of them. And if there's one thing college students know, it's social media. So it's certainly an app that they would probably jump onto.
Yep.
Frank, thanks so much.
Thank you so much for having me.